And the same with some guys, it's just, they're so aesthetically pleasing. People are, the guys are following them because they want to look like that. Girls think they're hot, but they're not communicating, they're not talking to people, it's building no trust. So then they want to sell something, all of a sudden they're like, dude, just take your shirt off and shut up.
And in terms of strategy then, what, in your case, and I'd be interested to see whether you think how it happened for you is something you'd recommend, but in terms of strategy, do you think what is a good one to adopt is build your personal brand? Like you started as a trainer, then you had a gym, then you've gone into nutrition. Would you say that kind of building that personal brand first, as opposed to saying, look, we've got a supplement and then trying to sell it? Which one of those two would you say is good if you had to start again?
Yeah, I would say that way. Not saying that it doesn't work the other way, because it's worked for many years for other companies, but today is different with social media. I just feel like it's more effective, and that's your audience, it's your followers, those are your potential customers or clients. Yeah. So, that's a no-brainer, Oftentimes when people ask me, it's kind of annoying, but I have empathy in the fact that some people just really don't know, how do I start this business or that business? And I'm like, because I never asked anybody. I just did my own research and just kept trying different things. But I'm like, let me see your social. I'm like, well, you gotta have people here. Who do you think is gonna buy your stuff? You know what I'm saying? So, I think that's a fast track to being able to potentially start. And that's not even a guarantee. I know people who's started companies or businesses with huge followings and couldn't sell anything,
Yeah, so you got to get the balance, I guess.
The way that you grow your audience is important. Now, there's people, there's women, there's a lot of women who can get a big following because they're so beautiful, right? Yeah. And I understand that. Like, I follow a lot of women, I have no idea what they've ever said or what they're about, because it's good to look at, right? So that can be problematic when trying to start a business, because especially if you don't really engage with your audience, now all of a sudden you got something for sale, they're like, just keep putting on your bikini. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's unfortunate, but that's just how it is. So, and the same with some guys, it's just, they're so aesthetically pleasing. People are, the guys are following them because they want to look like that. Girls think they're hot, but they're not communicating, they're not talking to people, it's building no trust. So then they want to sell something, all of a sudden they're like, dude, just take your shirt off and shut up. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta be building and creating a community with building your base. Yeah.
And there was someone you interviewed, a lady, again, I can't remember her name, but I'd sort of, looked into that, and there are some, particularly on the female side, a lot of them are very strict about who follows them and the comments, and they're cleaning it out so that they are really, although they might look great, they're also very hard on, they don't want the guys on there, they want the girls. Yeah, because a lot of guys are going to go on the channels and they're commenting and that sort of thing. And I can't remember her name now, but she was purposely cutting them off because she said, look, this is my audience, this is a demographic, this is what I'm sharing, and so when I put something out there, on whether it's a product or nutrition, I know the people who are going to come back are the right people. Right. And so I suppose, to your point, it's, if you've got 1 million people, unless they're, it's better probably to have 100,000 of the right people than a million.
Yeah, no, I used to, like, I've seen it. I don't really do the sponsor athletes anymore, but when I used to, the people who had the fewer followers would do the most in sales. But they were doing other things, they were working it, they were talking to people, they would have a YouTube channel where they would get maybe 400 or 500 views a video, but they're talking to the people in the comments, answering questions, giving these people value. So these people trusted them. So they're gonna buy stuff from them, you know what I'm saying? So versus somebody, the numbers is deceiving, Big following is not necessary. No. It's not. 1,000 people following somebody, that's still a lot of people. Yeah. People forget about that. That's a lot of people, 1,000 people. You know what I'm saying? So, and if you have a really good relationship with these people, it's all relationships, right? Yeah. We may not know these people personally, but we're talking to them, we're communicating with them. It's all relationships. If they trust you, they're gonna potentially patronize your services or your business.
Yeah. So you can build a great business even on a small following then, really, providing that you're...
100%, 100%.
And I guess going back
I'm
to
thinking
training,
of a few people right now I know is making, you know, a couple million a year, don't have big followings, don't have huge followings, you know?
And I suppose going back to your personal training days where you probably had a very small community of people in terms of how many you could train.
Right.
Just being able to communicate to people digitally, even 500 or 1,000 would have been more that you could see, but I suppose you can still have that relationship.
Yeah.